Yes, guys, how you doing? Welcome back. Welcome back to the Spurs Talk Show. I hope you're all happy and healthy, doing the things you love, because it's game day. It is game day today. I know I'm early. I'm not going to be doing a watch along. Promised I'd watch the game with some people. So I thought I'd just jump in and do a cheeky little hour or so with you. See how you guys are doing. See how you're feeling. Let's talk about a few things as well. What's crack-a-lacking, guys? Please smash the like button for me if you enjoy the video. Hit the subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell and drop a comment. Let me know your thoughts about what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about predicted lineups. We're going to talk about chances, Newcastle United situation, what's going on there, what happened last night. We've got the there's three teams we already know are going to be in the quarterfinals. 1 second. Oh yeah. Now we're talking. The day is done. The work is done. It's time to play. It's time to have fun. Guys, let's find out what's crack-a-lacking in the chat, shall we? Please, like I say, smash the like button, guys. All I want from you guys is one thing. Smash the like, smash the subscribe, and all that jazzy jazz. Let me just let me get a little rat-a-tat-tat here for a second. I just want to find out if someone wants to come on. Who where is this man? Where is this man? Where is he? Where are you? Here he is. You're all thinking, who's going to get the message? Get yourself on, lad. What is going on, people? Sorry, I'm a little bit out of sorts here. I just got back from the doctors. Back from the doctors. Been put on the old pathway, the cancer pathway, for the second time in a month. Two different things. Hi there, chubby Sean. How's the gym going? Clearly not well. Clearly not well, Alpesh. Like to see what you look like before I can throw some smoke your way, bro. You don't want this heat, I tell you. Slip and Coy, big up to you, my man. Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. Look who it is. It's Perchy. He's the man I just text. Perch, you want to come on? You want to come on, Perchy? Come on, bud. Let's have a chipwag. We will lose. Well, that's nice, isn't it? That's nice and positive. Newcastle are too good at home, says Shane. Mate, you know what it is, though, right? There's an opportunity for Tottenham Hotspur tonight to forge into the zeitgeist a narrative that Tottenham act like the Vikings we can be. We might not be that great at home. We might stink the place out a little bit at home, get a couple of wins here, get a couple of losses, kind of like what happened in Scandinavia. Scandinavians weren't brilliant at protecting their own homeland, I don't think. But what they were brilliant at was getting around the place, you know, and they would grape and they would pillage and they would plunder and they would make their way around the world, taking scalps, taking names and taking the points. And Tottenham Hotspur are yet to be beaten this season on the road in 90 minutes. If you include PSG, didn't beat us in 90 minutes. We've gone to Manchester City, two of the best teams in the game. We've gone to their homes and taken the points. Gone to Leeds and got the points. Yada, yada, yada. We haven't been beaten in Bodo. We haven't been beaten in Monaco. There's a chance that Tottenham Hotspur, if we go there tonight and we get the result that we want and we come away with the points, even if we lose, but we lose on pens, we can still claim that we don't get beaten. We don't lose on the road against some of the best teams in the game. You know what's going to happen? If I have it my way, this platform's going to be pushing a narrative. Fear Tottenham at home. When you're looking, whoever you are, whoever you support, when you look in your schedule, in your fixture list, and you see Tottenham at home, you go, oh no, the Yids are coming. And they leave with the points. They leave with the prizes. So I want us to take it seriously, Shane. I want us to take it seriously. And I'll find out how Perchy's feeling about this. What's happening, Perchometer? Oh, God, that background's horrendous.
Well, it's a bit blue there, isn't it?
Yeah, let's change that. I don't like that, do we? How you doing?
Yeah, good. You?
Not bad, mate. Not bad. Let me get rid of the comments out of your grid. Let's get rid of the comments out of your grid, shall we? That don't look good. That's better, mate. What are you saying? Are you on board the same train I am, that we actually go and try and get a result tonight, and that we come away with the points and we get this like Viking thing going on?
I'm the only one that said a positive result. I think draw, win on penalties. I stood by it. I think we're going to win. I have a weird feeling about it. So I don't know why. Everyone for all of a sudden has this thing that like we're going to lose and like it's nah. Oh, Eugene Gavin, mate, honestly, it's one of the worst opinions on you any group chat I've ever heard in my life. Stink that unhooked. Get out of it. But look. I hear a lot of this right about. We're back to this. We're back to the old adage of rotation, right? Okay, Sean, and we hear this all the time about. Oh, like if Spurs rotate, we're going to lose, and if we don't, we're going to win. I don't think it's as simple as that. I think you're going to have a bit of both. I think you're going to see Newcastle rotating as well. I don't think it's going to be this. All of a sudden, Spurs are the only team that need to rotate squads. But when I talk about rotation, I always use the term like you can rotate, but for me, it's about plays that I hear all the time, right? I use Berghvall and Sarr for this sort of conversation, right? Berghvall and Sarr, everyone tells me they should be starting every week. Well, this is the opportunity, right? So I'm not talking about sitting there going playing, we've got to go play under 21 kids against Newcastle. Nah. But players that don't maybe not play a lot, Mathys Tel, get him in, give him an opportunity. Your Sarr, your Berghvall, players that we know that are going to be a bit problematic if we do lose them. The Paulinias, the Porros. I think you've got to have a bit. I think for me, I would start.
How much can we actually rotate? And how much do you need to rotate? Does the centre backs need to rotate? They don't, do they? We haven't got the chance.
You're going to have to, right? You're going to have to play Van der Ven and Danzo. We've got nobody else to play at centre half.
No, exactly. But even if you have the options, you don't need to rotate because centre halves are exhausted. They don't play the same sort of game as a fullback or a midfielder, right?
But the manager's also got to manage his squad, right? So you like players like he's obviously injured, so he can't play. But players like a Dragoshin, for example, let's just say Van der Ven and Romero have been fine all season. Romero and Van der Ven and fuck's sake, Danzo and Dragoshin, for example, will be going. Well, where's my opportunity?
I hear you on that.
So the manager, this is when we talk about rotation. You got to remember the manager's got to has a squad of players that he's got to keep happy because let's just say out of nowhere we lose a centre half. He's got to rely on a Danzo or a Dragoshin. So the manager's got to also rotate for the basis of the.
I hear you on that one, but is for some reason the Carabao Cup is treated as like I don't know, like so many teams treat it like it's unimportant.
Yeah, because
most teams haven't got a cat's sniff.
Whatever that is, I've never heard of a cat sniff. I mean, that's a small thing.
I've literally just cracked open my first vodka lemonade. So
right, that's what it is. Right, okay.
I need to get going into my
that's one of your dodgy cocktails you get on a Friday night. I'll have a cat sniff, please. You absolute lunatic.
Let me ask this. So I agree with you about the squad rotation in terms of keeping players happy. So you can make that argument at the top end of the pitch, and we'll come to that in a minute. When it comes to the midfield tonight, we don't really have that many options, right? So we have got options. We got 4 players where 2 of them need to play, essentially, if you're going to play Xavi, right, at the top. Why doesn't anyone ever moan about the fact that we can't rotate Pedro Porro, by the way? Why is it that he is expected to play 180 minutes or 200 minutes of first-team aggressive football every single week? Why is it okay that for 3 years we have left him to do it by himself? Like, is he built out of platinum or something? What's going on? Or palladium?
I think it's the problem with it, right? Is you haven't really got cover for him, right? So, unfortunately, we've got one player covering 2 players in Jed Spence. So we'll either cover the left back or the right back. And Porro seems to be much more fitter than Udogie. Udogie obviously out of injuries. Udogie's out injured, so unfortunately Porro is going to have to play. Otherwise, who's going to fill in at right back? It would have probably been Archie Gray, but he's now injured. So, yeah, I think Pedro Porro is going to start today. I don't think he's not going to go in and throw in a kid or throw in a midfielder to say fill in at right back, right? So he's gonna play.
Okay, so yeah, you know what? I was going to reverse engine this before I knew you were going to come on. I was going to start with a little bit of banter And then I was going to drop into some transfer news, views, and clues because there's stories out about Carabao.
I have no knowledge. So anything you say is news to me. I've been sorting out my house at the moment, so I have no news. So go. I like it.
Okay, well let's start with the transfer news, views, and clues, and then we'll come back to the team thing in about half an hour's time. So, first and foremost, Mason Greenwood.
Oh no. Okay.
He's out on he's in the peripherals today. Us and West Ham are apparently sniffing around Marseille for Mason Greenwood. Okay. And look, can't hate the player. 8 goals, 4 assists already this season. He's smashing it up in French football. Atletico Madrid are sniffing around. Several teams in Germany are sniffing around. A couple of teams in Serie A are sniffing around. But he apparently would prefer a move back to the UK. Now, as I said in my video this morning, I found it difficult to kind of to cover the topic because you don't want to say something which is inappropriate, but at the same time, you don't want to leave something off, on the table that needs to be said. To me, no problem with the player, but the amount of baggage that guy comes with, I mean, why he would want to come back to the Premier League, whether he's innocent, whether he's guilty, it's kind of irrelevant, right? Like the court of public opinion, They heard what they heard in that audio video, that audio message. If he was to come to Tottenham or to West Ham, everywhere he would go on the away days, he would be.
Oh, of course. You know the songs that would be chanted about Mason Greenwood at every single away game you'll go to. Look, firstly, I'll start with football and then we'll talk about the other stuff. Footballing wise, walks into our football team. Footballing ability walks in right now.
Yeah.
So if we're going to talk about it on a football basis, no-brainer. But this is different than a no-brainer on a football conversation because we're now going to be talking about a player that has got some misdemeanors on that whether or not, as you say, guilty, innocent, it's kind of irrelevant because the public have made their decision if he's guilty or not. So whether or not where he goes will be a problem. And you're right, I don't think Tottenham will touch it. Do you know what this is? This is probably, and my theory is this is his agent sprinkling out some reports to people to say, look, he's interested in the move back to the Premier League. I think he won't come back to the Premier League. I think he'll go somewhere like Spain. But then again, he was in Spain getting dog abuse in Spain, right?
Was he getting dog abuse in Spain as well?
Mate, near enough every home stadium he was going to would have like a banner in Spanish saying say no to the R word.
Don't say the word.
That's why I said the R word. I'm not going to say the word. I know how this game works, my man. But yeah, my point is like, so going back to Spain, is that the right thing? But I think regardless, I think he's probably at a stage where he kind of knows wherever he goes to, at whatever football ground, he's going to get it, right? Because it's going to sound bad, but I don't want it to sound bad. I hope you get the context of what I'm going to say. Rival football fans are more or less doing it because it's trying to get under the skin of an opposition player.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
In a sense, it's football fans are a bit fickle, right? And whether we like it or not, away fans aren't doing it because they're trying to be morally right. They're doing it because they can say X, Y, and Z about an ex-football player on the opposition team. We've all done it. Spurs fans have done it. Everyone does it in their own little pockets of it. They're not doing it for a moral compass. They're doing it to try and get to rattle the opposition player.
Yeah, it's just fun as well, isn't it? Like any opportunity will do. Any opportunity will do. And like no one thinks about the impact it has on the recipient. It's just it's something I can say. I'm going to say it, and to hell with the impact.
So what? Maybe there's a mindset in his going, well, it doesn't really matter if I go back to England. Yeah, I'm going to get pelters at any stadium I go to, but I'll do my talking on the pitch. But go back to it. Look, is it worth it for Spurs? Probably not. But then again, like football fans are fickle, right? Let's be fair. Spurs fans, you'll have a bunch that go football. We'll just stick to football, and he's a top football player. Get him in. You'll have some that will go morally, going, well, look. Morally, we don't want to play like that under our books. But let's be fair. If he turns up and scores a hat-trick in an opening game against Arsenal, for example, immediately the home fans aren't going to start kicking off if he's banging in goals every week. So
that's the other part of the equation, right? I think it would be an easier hard no. Like, it's still a hard no for me personally, but I'm just playing the hypothetical here. It would be an easier hard no if there was an abundance of other options out there. But you say, and I agree with you, that he walks into our team, all other things being equal, right? He does.
Yeah, if we're talking football, sure.
Right, he can play off the left. He can play in the 10. He can play in the 9. Right, he predominantly plays off the right, but he's versatile enough and good enough player. It makes it a little bit more difficult when you sit there and go, okay, is he better than anyone in our team in that position, bar possibly Kudus? Probably, yeah, right? So you go, okay, cool. Other options that you can get, I'll throw a few names out there. In the striker market, we are literally looking at the driest market in the game where people are thinking about trying to figure out a way to pay for Ivan Toney to come back, who's getting paid 450 bags a week. Or Dusan Vlahovic, who's out of contract in the summer, and yet we're thinking about paying him 220 grand a week when the geezer has flattered to deceive quite hard in Juve colours, right? Other than that, you've got a 21-year-old in Samu Agahawa who has got a €100 million release clause. And Tottenham, apparently, another bit of news today, Paratici reckons that he can try and get the guy on a loan with an option in January until the end of the season. I mean, I don't know what sort of loan fee you're going to have to pay.
How much are you paying for that to happen?
You know?
Well,
like,
look,
I can carry on naming but the list gets pretty bleak after those three. There's not a huge amount of talent out there. So, like, you know, when you're looking going, well, it's a hard no on someone like Mason Greenwood, but you go, okay, well, who do you want instead? And you offered a certain caliber of player that's available, you kind of going, oh, maybe I'll take Greenwood.
I see who you've invited on as well. I forgot I've access to your StreamYard as well. I can see everything.
Game
on. But just so big up Eugene. But yeah, just on that point though, you're right about the striker market. By the way, the striker market is gone. Like when you're looking at you look at players and the transfer fees for what I would say all right strikers like Voltemade. Use him. I think he's a good striker. Is he a £90 million striker? Probably not. But so what ends up happening is the inflation on prices goes. So now any football player that has an half-decent striker that scores 15 to 20 goals, they go, well, he went for 90, we want 92. And then you go, and then the second is, well, we've got a better striker than him. We want 150 million. And it just becomes a spiral upwards like that, right?
Yeah, that's why I'm pissed off that Man United paid 80 million quid for Benjamin Sesko.
Yeah.
You know? Because you've set a new comp. You've set a new comparison. You know?
Of course.
Let me ask you this, boys. Big up to you, Eugene. Welcome to the show. There is another little tale out there this morning, that I quite like the sound of. Jean-Philippe Mateta.
Good player. Very good player.
Late bloomer, though. Wasn't doing anything.
True.
You know?
My worry, my only worry with a Mateta, right, is he going to be one of those that you're right, like, he's a late bloomer. He has come good at the late, but has he only come good because of a manager, right? Like, you see a lot of them, like, the old player comes in, like, and all of a sudden, boom, like, and then he comes to Tottenham and then he scores 5 goals in a season, right? And then we go, what the hell's going on? But then you've got in a player that you're going to be spending. Look, how much a Palace going to want for a Mateta? 50, 60, 70 for a 28-year-old? Then you're starting to go, well, okay, well, whatever you're spending on a Mateta, and look, the football club will think this. Forget about what fans think. Football clubs will think, well, what's going to be our return on a player in 3 or 4 years? Are we going to sell him? Are we going to be spending £80 million on a player that will have no sell-on value in 3 or 4 years? We have to think like that because clubs will think in that respect. If you're spending £80 million on a player like Mateta for 3 or 4 years, that means you got to be getting 80 million quid. Oh, you've got to be getting 20 million quid's worth of striker every year. Are you going to get that with him? I like Mateta. Look, if you compare it on football in terms of what we've got, streets ahead. But you've got to think of the whole picture if you're going to go in and spend big money on a 28-year-old.
Who else are you going to spend the money on, though, Perch?
No, I don't disagree with you, right? But you're right. It's at what stage do you go in and buy a striker? Who's around, right?
look around. I made a list of 10 strikers earlier, Eugene, or 2 days ago, Eugene. And by the way, guys in the chat, just quickly, if those of you haven't seen it yet, I've got a new channel, like an 18th channel, and it's called The Rabbit Hole Ramblings. This one isn't about football. It's about conspiracy. And last night, Eugene and Nikos joined me for the 3rd episode, and it's a lot of fun. So I encourage you guys.
Ramblings, I like it.
If you're into your conspiracies, bring your open mind. Tinfoil hats sold separately, but get yourself a little subscription over to the Rabbit Hole Ramblings, and also make sure you smash the notification bell when you do subscribe, because chances are that channel's getting suppressed already.
Oh yeah, 100%. Anything slightly controversial.
Eugene, take your tinfoil hat off. Just let's just talk about the logic here. What striker do you go to? Do you go and spend 80 million quid or 60 million quid on a 21-year-old that's doing okay in Portugal, but that's only really ever scored goals against the bottom teams in Portugal? And the only people that know the players that play for those teams is this guy up here when he's watching he's watching Portuguese.
Allegedly, mate, love it.
Allegedly,
man.
He knows.
No, don't do allegedly, Eugene. Don't start that one.
No, but you know what? Actually, this might make for a bad show, but I agree with Perchi on Mateta. I think we've been burned by Solanke, so the late bloomer thing, it's a risk, even though he's a good player. But
how have we been burnt by Solanke?
Well, being a late bloomer as well.
He's been injured.
He's a decent player.
He hasn't played.
Last season he was.
I mean, he's a decent player, but
playing in the sacrificial lamb. What are we doing here?
#meh. Proper meh striker.
And I rate him. I rate Solanke, but he's not going to give us more than like 17 goals. So again, for that price, Mateta, I mean, is he that much better than Solanke?
17 goals is pretty good, mate. It's a pretty good return.
Oh, it is. But I'm saying, right, if we pay off 80 million,
right? But for the price tag you're paying for Solanke, again, it's just is that the right price for a player that gets you? What Eugene says, is that the right price for a 17 goal a season striker? Is 60 million pound?
How many players scored more than 20 goals last season in the Premier League?
He didn't score 17 Premier League goals.
No, he didn't. I'm just saying, how many? You're saying.
No, I agree.
How many players last season scored 20 goals or more?
I mean, if he does, it's worth it. If he does, 65 million is worth it. I'm saying, is Mateta that much better?
90 million. 20 goal season players don't exist anymore.
Yeah, he's got a point. He has a point. I do get your point on that part.
If you can get 15 to 16 Premier League goals, that is like the 25 goal a season type level of 5 years ago. The game has changed. The game has moved.
But the question is,
Haaland, Salah, and one other, I think, got more than 20 goals last year. That's it.
But look, if we're talking about Mateta, that's the question, right? We've got Solanke, who's not going anywhere. Do you think Mateta for 80 million is going to be that big improvement on Solanke, given his track record? He might be, but I just don't see it. I think for 80 million, I'd rather get.
He's a player that's built for football in the 2025 era.
I don't disagree with that. I don't agree with you on that.
He's athletic. He's fast. He's got a good finish on him. The game has moved to this new version where, like, very few teams rely on technicality anymore, and maybe that's why Manchester City are easier to beat, because everyone's pivoting to like big, strong, strapping blokes from any part of the world. But they boss the midfield. Look at the Aston Villas. Look at the Newcastles. Look at the pivot towards set pieces. Arsenal winning the league at the moment by 5 points ahead or something, and they score most of their goals from set pieces. Tottenham in 3rd place, scoring most of our goals from set pieces, because it's become less about your skill and your trickiness and more about orchestrating environments where your size can have its pronounced effect. And Mateta is one of those types of players for me.
But if we do have 80 million, I'd rather put up 100 for Semenyo. If we're just...
He's not a striker, though, is he? He's not a 9.
No, I know, but I'm saying, but we need a left winger as well, right? So if the money is available, Semenyo for me is a better talent, and he's a better value for the money, and also position of need. So I would give Solanke a chance if he's healthy, but Semenyo and Kudus would be difference makers for us.
I'd have a Guirassy. Guirassi's a shout.
Mate, I'm fucked up on him so much, mate. I spent Go on, sorry.
No, I was just saying, I was the one year. You know, before we got Solanke and Guirassy had that £15 million release clause at Stuttgart, and I went, he's your signing. He's a bargain.
And you know what? I went the other way, and I went, what are we doing here? The guy's 27 years old, and he's done absolutely sweet fuck all his entire career.
An amazing season at Stuttgart. Now look at him.
I know. And then he moves to Dortmund, was it? And he's got the scores like 80. I think he scored 13 goals in the Champions League phase last year. And I'm sitting there going, for fuck's sake, Butler, why do you don't do it? Don't waste your time on this donkey. He's a one-season wonder. Don't do it.
And then we actually then did go and get the one-season wonder in Dominic Solanke. The irony of it. No, look, I think for me, look, I'll just jump into it, but for the striker sort of thing, like for me at the moment, I'd be looking that there's some good players out. The best way to do it, do Tottenham take a risk by getting? I'll use a Julian Alvarez, not him, but you go to somewhere like Argentina and you pick out an absolute gem and go, you're the guy. Like I don't care if you're 19, you're coming in, you're the man. A bit like when Man City went and got Julian Alvarez, for example, right? They went out there, peeled him up. Yes, he was still, but he came in unreal. Then he went on for massive money because he couldn't get into the team because of Haaland. But do Spurs
like a player like Marcus Leonardo, who went to
someone like him?
Saudi.
Yeah, I think he did go. He went to Saudi, didn't he? But there's a few like that.
He's scoring like 35 goals over there.
Yeah, but my point is Spurs have almost got to kind of find that gem. Hey, he's on the back of my Espanyol shirt. My number 9, my Argentinian number 9.
Things make sense now. Now it all makes sense.
Oh, don't. Fine. My Espanyol beat Sean's Elche, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you did.
No, but in a way, Spurs go out and find that striker. No, I mean, not go and get them and then sit them on the bench and not play. I mean, you go and say, we're bringing you in because we think you're the bollocks. You're in, you start, and we'll see how it goes from there. But do Spurs have to go out there and spend £100 million on a 9? Again, I'm not against either one of them, right? I'm not against either one of them, but Spurs kind of can't sit in the middle of it. You either have to commit to getting a young 19, 20-year-old from afar.
I think enough 19, 20-year-olds, though, because can't Mathys Tel maybe become that guy? You know?
What about Solanke?
He's not a goal scorer, though. You've got to find an actual goal.
He might be. Look at Serhou Guirassy. When Serhou Guirassy was 19, 20 years old, he was playing in the 3rd division in France. He was doing nothing. Right? Then he's at 21, 22, very little. 23, very little. 24, 25, very little.
Aren't these the anomaly, though, Sean? They're the anomalies. They don't normally happen like that, right? The Guirassys don't normally happen like that, right? You get a couple that happen like that, but most of them build up to that level and get to 27 are absolutely the dog's bollocks, right? So, look, I think it's interesting. I think, look, the striker is going to be the real key one for us. The key one for us.
What's the more 19-year-olds? Look, let's give at least Lancashire a chance, or some of the kids, some of the academy kids. Like, I don't want to buy any more 19-year-olds. If we're going to splash out 80 million, it needs to be an established striker.
But there's no point buying. There's no issue. By the way, I've always stood by this, and Sean knows I've had this conversation before. But there's no issues in buying a 19-year-old. But if you're going to buy them, they are good enough to start. I've always said football's a meritocracy. None of this giving time now. If you're good enough, you start, you play, right? You get to it. If you're good enough, you're in. So if you can get a 19-year-old that is good enough to start, I've got no issues. What you're suggesting, Eugene, I don't disagree with you, is you buy in a kid and then they don't play football. Like, you've got to have that. You get in, like, for example, you sign Yamal. Yamal's a kid. He comes straight in and he's our best player, right? Even though he's not, he's not made it yet. Wasn't that the one? I love it. Big up.
But those kids, but those kids are going to go for a crazy amount of money, right? If an 18-year-old is good enough to start in the Prem, he's going to go for 100 mil plus.
Yeah, but that's why
the thing.
That's why you go and scout to the Argentinas, the Brazils, and you go and get. That's where Chelsea have got a lot of their new kids recently. To be fair, it's not a bad shout. Could be. We'll see.
If Kolo Muani wasn't at Tottenham right now and he was at Juve and there was a chance of signing him in January, we'd all be saying, considering that how dry the market is, let's go and sign Kolo Muani. We've got Kolo Muani. We just haven't really seen enough of him yet, have we?
It's a good point. It's a good point. The only problem with Kolo Muani is the only key bit is you almost don't want him to be too good. Because if he becomes the bollocks in the second half of the season without an option to buy him, anyone goes, well, hang on, he's just absolutely killed it at Tottenham. We'll have him, and the big boys are starting to snoop. And he goes, oh, I'm going to go to Juve again, or I'm going to go to insert club. So you've kind of got that. That is the only worry with Kolo Muani, is that he doesn't have an option to buy him. So,
yeah.
Let me give you a crazy take. Just a question.
God.
Given the way
this is worrying.
No, but given the way
Eugene
Frank plays, right? Given kind of how he's using our midfielders, is the striker still the number one issue, or is it a top 8 who can control games? For me, before, striker was the number one and left winger, but now, given the way we play, I'm saying we need a top midfielder who can run games. I don't know if that's a crazy take, but
I hear this all the time. I've got to call it out a little bit.
Oh, here we go.
There's such little, it's an easy throwaway thing. What we need is what we don't have. Someone who can just boss games, who can control the midfield. What exactly does that mean? Explain that to me. Explain to me what the ball playing everything geezer looks like. Who is it that we're talking about here?
So look, if you're looking at Xavi, he's isolated. Go Perch.
No, just someone like a Ruben Neves, Anglo Stiller, those sort of players that are good passers on the ball. I think that's what we do need. That is definitely something we need. One of the options, by the way, that Sean, you put it in.
Passer. When people say control games, you mean a better passer with the ball.
Well, being able to control the tempo. Look, our strikers don't get any service.
You want your Modric in your midfield that you just go, you give him the ball and you have no worries with him on the ball. We don't have very good passers of the football in midfield.
Okay, so could you make the argument then to move Xavi back into that 8 role?
He's too small for that. He's too slight. He's not physical enough
for that, but he's feisty as well.
He's not the issue.
Super feisty. He loves getting stuck in.
No, it's not about. The thing is, but then you go, well, then you sacrifice the 10.
No, you don't, because there's other players you can squeeze into the 10.
Who? Right at the moment,
Micky?
we don't. Oh yeah, no. Kulusevski's a shout, and then moving forward, we'll see with him. No, I think the one that you mentioned though, Sean, it's not a bad shout because. I don't know, it works for me on Football Manager 26. So if it means it works for me, then it works for everyone else. Is that you play Kulu as a false 9 in your 9. You play someone like Simmons who can play off the false 9. You're creating a bit of a 4-2-3-1 kind of.
You're playing Decky in the false 9 on Football Manager.
Hey, it works for me, mate. Play him in the false 9. Simmons with the shadow striker. They interwoven between each other. Mate, the master.
I would do that. That's a good shout for sure. Because, Sean, the issue is...
Sorry, go on. Sorry,
No, I'm saying if we get a top striker, our strikers don't get any service. So if we spend 100 million on a striker and he's going to be running around with no service, that's
the only reason they're not getting the service is because there's a deliberate handbrake on Bentancur. Go and look at the average heat maps. He is not allowed to progress past the halfway line.
Is he not allowed, or he just doesn't want to do it?
Isolated. That is why, and I'm really glad that I'm starting to see loads of people saying this about a week after I started saying it. Right?
No one
ever gives you credit for the take, because I said it before anybody else said it. Anybody. No one gives you credit. But now you start to see people drop it into their own opinions, and it's quite interesting that we are going out of our way to get corners. We are the setup of the team is Kudus wants the corner. When he stands still and waits for the ball at his feet and then beats the man, he is literally giving that left back the chance to get a foot out when he crosses it, rather than taking him on at pace, because he wants the corner, because that is the trigger for the big men to come up. The Van der Vens, the Bentancurs, the Polinias. In open play, they do not cross the halfway line unless the ball has been up there and we're doing horseshoe football for 90 seconds. When we get the ball, when we transition and we win the ball back and we send it up to Kudus, none of them get up there. That's why when he does cross the ball in, when he doesn't get knocked out for a corner kick, there is nobody anywhere in the box apart from Mathys Tel or Richalison or whoever it is that's playing as the bozo in the 9.
There's 370 of you watching right now. So you guys have now got to do the homework to see if Sean's take is a real take, or he's just making this up and saying, "Oh, everyone's now saying it." Homework to you lot. If it happens, we give Sean credit. If it doesn't,
Adam was saying it earlier. I was burying.
But he rates Richalison, so it doesn't count. He rates Richalison.
Just say he's one example in the WhatsApp. I saw it a couple of hours ago as well. Listen, it's fine. I don't need the corners. It's fine. I tell myself in my own ear.
Homework for you lot in the chat. Homework.
Hold on. So the question is, Sean, is Frank doing this because we don't have a good striker, or even if we do get a striker, will the strategy be the same going for set pieces? Because if that's the case, we don't really need a top, like spending that money on a top striker. No, so the question is, why is Frank doing it?
You will do it.
I absolutely hope that the tactic forevermore under Thomas Frank is not to go for set pieces.
That's my issue.
I think that there is a consequence to being a team. Even the best teams with the best players and the best amount of depth have a problem trying to break down teams that have got the low blocking. This season and the tail end of 2025 generally has seen a massive transition towards a closing of the gap at the teams at the bottom that are filling out their defense with bigger players. They've got better, stronger sixes, and it's more of a defensive solidarity. Fewer and fewer teams are trying to play expansive, creative, gung-ho football because it isn't working. Ange Postecoglou is a testament to that, right? And so the notion is even Arsenal can't break down teams at home that easily. Sometimes they get a 1-0. They'll go and beat a Fulham 1-0. They'll go and beat a Crystal Palace 1-0 like they did last weekend. But generally speaking, it becomes a game of horseshoe, and you're not getting the results that you want. And so what do you do instead? Well, you find those margins, those incremental margins from set pieces.
So the question is,
by the players that we were targeting in the summer, it was clear that we were going to be doing some work on the set pieces. But then you just look across the Premier League and you see, how many times did anyone talk about a long throwing specialist last year? No one spoke about it last year. This year, everyone's got one. It's a new paradigm shift. It's like the new iteration of how football works. And so I, for one, hope that it's not going to be a long-lasting paradigm shift because football has become super boring. But in the process, Tottenham are actually benefiting because we're quite well organised with it. But you still do need obviously improvements in your balance in the terms of a left winger, a striker, and a ball-playing six. But that's why I think that Mateta isn't a bad shout, because he is someone that has the pace, has the physicality, has the goal threat, plus he has the size, and he's good in the air. So in the intermittent period, while set pieces are the run of the kind of the play of the day, he can still be a good participant in that. But then when the game finally does pivot back, like the pendulum always swings back the other way at some point, when it does go back to something else, then he'll be a good player that can participate in transitional football and link-up play and all the other things. He can hold the ball up. He's strong, he's fast, he's mobile, he's broad, he's good in the air, and he's two-footed. So I'd love to see Mateta coming. I really would. I think he'd be great.
But we have Solanke, Richarlison, Tel, Moani. We have so many average players right now. Like, is there room on the squad for another striker? I would say for the left winger, we're more desperate for a decent left winger right now, unless we sell one of the strikers.
We're going to have to sell anyway, right? We've got a massive squad anyway.
Exactly. So we've got to sell somebody.
You're going to have to offload anyway, regardless.
But Richarlison is the key. Like, if he doesn't want to leave, it's an issue for us. If he wants to leave in January, then it gives us options.
He's out of contract to the end of next year, right? Am I right in saying? Well, not next year, in next season, end of next season. Sorry. So
yeah,
you'll have suitors.
He won't be here after the World Cup.
I don't either. I think he'll be gone. I think he'll have buyers and he'll get himself out of it. But no, I think it's a good point. I think that's the key bit, right? We need a better striker. We need a better left winger. We do need an actual passing midfielder that can pass the ball. But look, I think the nucleus of what we've got is going well. I think we'll be there or thereabouts this season. I think we've got a good squad. I think so. No, I'm not as sort of panicked as I think others are. I think that people don't like the style of what we are, but I think we're going to be if we can get someone big. It doesn't have to necessarily be the striker, but if it's a decent midfielder or a decent left winger, and you go, okay, like that. Now I'm happy. Here's the question, right? Because obviously we had this conversation. I'll ask you lot the question. I'm intrigued. No right or wrong answers on this one, but if the left winger, or if we go in and get someone short term in the pretense that we get someone better, because it is hard in January, whether people like it, it is hard to buy in January. Clubs are very reluctant to sell top players mid-season unless they've got someone to buy anyone off on the other end.
Especially
So,
the extension of the European games.
of course, exactly. That's the point. Clubs are very reluctant to sell now immediately. Do you look at someone where isn't maybe necessarily getting a lot of game time? So you go, look, I'll pick anyone. It doesn't really matter who, but you go and get them in on the short term. Maybe as a left wing, you're probably not with a striker if you've got Kolo Muani. Kolo Muani is a bit of a short-term fix if you don't retain him. But as a left winger, you get in someone like Everton getting Jack Grealish, for example. You get our version of that. Would people be satisfied with that on a short-term basis in the pretense that longer term we're going to get someone better in?
I would be, but there's players out there that I think that you can get now because of the advantage that we have, which is we don't need to sell to buy to raise money, whereas other teams do, right? So let's say, for example, there was an iota of a chance that you could get Semenyo. I don't think he'll come to Tottenham. Right? I don't think it will happen, but just for the thought experiment. Liverpool have got far more pressing issues right now than getting a left winger in. They need to get centre-backs in. And given that January is so difficult, it's difficult enough to get one bit of business done, let alone 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Right. And so if they need to get maybe a DM and a centre-back, maybe 2 centre-backs, whatever they want to do, then that's going to take up the lion's share of their January. Arsenal, if they really want to get Semenyo, they probably need to find a new home for Martinelli and or Trossard, or possibly both, right? And so again, 2 bits of business need to happen before they can get to Semenyo. If no one goes for Semenyo in January, because Bournemouth are just like, we're in the top 4, we're in a Champions League chance here, we're not selling our best asset in January, but there is a release clause that is only triggerable in the summer, then if we have to wait until the summer, forget it.
Yeah.
No chance. He's going to pick one of the other teams ahead of us.
Sure.
If Tottenham really wanted to go and get him and they put down a number that was impossible to refuse to Bournemouth, like £100 million, something like that, then yeah, you go and get him, right? But if you can't get him and Tottenham come January are still sitting 3rd, 4th, 5th, and you're in a realistic chance to qualify for the Champions League by right in the league, and you're there or thereabouts still fighting for qualification in the Champions League in like maybe your 10th, 15th, something like that, and you've got a good chance of making the knockout stages.
Mm-hmm.
Would you guys be satisfied if you went and got an Ademola Lookman? Because he is he's like a B-Tech version of Lookman. Sorry, a B-Tech version of Semenyo. Not dissimilar. Amazing output, right? Physical, fast, tricky, bangs in, got 24 goals last season. Questions about his temperament. Those people that say, I remember him from his penalty miss at Fulham or his time at Charlton, Everton or Leicester. The guy completely moved on since then, right? He's a far better player than he was back 4 or 5 years ago. But would you be satisfied if you could go and get a Lookman, but that required you to go for him permanently? You're not going to get him on a loan, to your point, Perchy.
Okay.
You're not going to. We could have got him on a loan on deadline day, but Atalanta said, no, you permanent or not at all. Would you go and get him on a permanent deal for, say, 35 million quid, if that also left you enough change to go and get yourself a striker or a midfielder that could improve that whole, whatever it was, the complete midfielder thing that with the controller, whatever it is you guys are saying?
Yeah. No. For me, I would get Lookman over Semenyo anyway. I think it's much more sensible business. I think the inflated price of Semenyo at the moment, I think it is an inflated price. It's bought on here nowisms in the sense of right now he is the name on everyone's lip. Like in the summer, every name was Eberiche Eze. So, by the way, I think he's a top player, but I don't think Lookman's a bad player. And if you can get him for 35 million, I think that's unbelievable. I genuinely, if you can get Lookman for 35 mil, that's a great bit of business. If you're getting a player of his caliber for 35 mil, that's a great bit of business. And then, as you say, that's opening up the door that you go and say, someone like, as I said, Stiller or a Neves in midfield. That means then you can get Mateta in the summer. That then ticks a lot of boxes, right? And you go, then you look at our squad and you look at those with a midfielder like Stiller, a Lookman on the left, Mateta up top, with all the other bits around him. You go, now you're looking at us as a team going, that's a strong side. I don't think you've got an issue at the back. I think defensively, I think we're sorted. I think we've got good cover. Just need to maybe get a right back in or a left back, depending on where you play Jed Spence long term. And in the longer time, I think the goalkeeper may need to be upgraded, but I don't think he's the biggest problem now. And then you start, as I said, then every season you're looking at one or two players that come in and go, okay, you're now making us better. And then down the line, you go, now you've got a proper squad. So yeah, look, I think you've got to be, look, I think someone like Semenyo, as I said, he's the one on everyone's lips, but is he £100 million player? Maybe. But if that was the case, how did no one notice that this is going to be the sort of player he was a couple seasons ago, where you could have got him at a much better price? Is it just because immediately now he's come good, now we want to get it? Is that what we want to be doing? I'm not against it, but I don't know. Is Semenyo the sort of player that a top club gets? Possibly. If he's got a release clause, he's going to go somewhere. In the but when you said one thing, what you did say about the January though, Sean, if you do pay over a release clause that will be activated in the summer, the player's agent will be sitting there going, sit tight. We know we've got a release clause. We've got a release clause in the summer for, let's just call it 80 million. I don't know what it is, but let's just call it 80 million. Sit tight.
I think it's 76 million apparently.
I got a different take, Perch. Look, I mean, Lookman is a good player in isolation, but I think our issue is we buy decent players on 5-year deals, and then they're blocking, and then they're just there in the squad. For me, personally, I would rather either go cheap or expensive. I don't want us to get decent average players that will fill up the squad and not allow us any flexibility, right? It's the opportunity cost.
Lookman's not average.
No, I know. I'm just saying in general. Lookman is a good player. My question is, why is nobody else?
I don't understand why people don't want
going
him.
For him? Why is nobody else my only concern is not even what I've seen of him as a player.
He's got that. Maybe there's a little bit of trouble there with his personality.
Yeah. Is AFCON a thing for him? Is he going to AFCON this season, or are they out?
He's Ghana, isn't he? Where's he?
Nigeria.
He's Nigerian, so he would probably be going then.
So that's a big deal as well, right? Especially for us.
Right? But the for what it's worth, I think the African Cup of Nations starts on the Boxing Day of this year.
It starts the end of December.
Was that?
It starts, you're right, end of December it starts.
Yeah, it starts a lot earlier this year. And so depending on how well they do, I mean, Nigeria might go fairly decent, but
I would take him. He's a good player. African player problem because of after the AFCON thing. I'm not sure it's going to be a problem for any longer, because in 2 years' time it's moved to the summer.
Yeah.
And then I think it runs concurrently with. Although I don't know how that would work with,
isn't it they play in the December because of the heat? No.
Yeah, but in 2 years' time, because it's every 2 years. 2 years later, so this time it's in January over Christmas. In 2 years' time, it's in the summer. I'm guessing that 2 years later it would be back in January, because there would also be the World Cup in the summer, so they couldn't do it. It wouldn't be a permanent move to the summer.
No.
But yeah, I'm sorry, it only really becomes a problem once every 4 years.
Yeah,
once every 2 years.
But then when we say it's an issue, it's not the major issue, right? When you think about it in the context of it, you're losing a player for normally 3 games, right? It's normally 3, maybe 4 games, depending if a team goes all the way to the final. I mean, I think the only player this season that we are losing is Sarr. Am I right in saying?
Yeah, Sarr.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Sarr. But no, for 35 million, it's a no-brainer, right? If it goes to 50, then think about it. For 35, for sure.
I put a video in the WhatsApp group about 2 months ago on a player from Midtjylland who plays for Guinea-Bissau. His name's Francolino Jew, DJU.
Oh, I saw that. This kid looks
know about this guy. All the Danish football that you watch every Thursday night, mate. You must be all
Midtjylland a good side, by the way. I think Midtjylland they're a good footballing side.
They are a good footballing side, but they got this guy, DJU Francolino. He is and we're talking about like Mateta physique, like add the wings by about an extra 2 inches, add the breadth of the depth of his chest by about 2 inches. The guy is an absolute physical monster, and he's only about 22 years old. I think he scored 11 goals in 11 games this season in the Danish league and in the Europa League as well. So, but one of these things, right? Do you want to go and buy another kid, another unknown, another potential?
Yeah, but by the way, but the thing is it's, as long as it's potential that is good enough to start. If they're good enough to play, right, I'm all for it, right? I think we have, as I said, it's all about. I've got no problem with signing younger players, as long as these younger players are good enough to start for Tottenham Hotspur. We go, because there are gems, right? You do sometimes there are clubs that just will manage to find a gem. Brentford have been brilliant at it for years, right? They will pick out a player. I mean, they are linked with Midtjylland, isn't it? Benham owns both the clubs anyway. And they'll go in and just pick out, they'll go to Scandinavia and pick out a player and then go, you're in, like you're good enough to start for us. And then you go, and then I always say this every time there's I always say this a lot whenever like Brighton or Brentford pick up a player, you go, give it a couple of years, we'll all be talking about signing this player. Like, and it always
Thiago from Brentford.
Oh, good player. I like him. He's
How did he get through the net as well? Bruges, Club Brugge.
Oh, Bruges, mate.
Brugge, you got to start a Football Manager save on Brugge, mate.
I have done before. I love Bruges. Bruges are
brilliant.
I just hate the Belgium league. It does this thing where it splits in half, I think, and it's all a bit weird.
Yeah, when the person who finishes in the top 8 or whatever go into some kind of competition
to win the league, and it's like I can't be doing about. Just give me a normal 38 game season. Come on, it's simple. But Bruges are right. Bruges is a good one, right? Yeah,
Temsdene, Talby, Igor Thiago. They got so many players coming out of Brugge, mate. If someone was just to go and buy Brugge, make them be your feeder club. Although it'd be difficult because they're always in the Champions League.
They're always in the Champions League.
Yeah.
I think we should start. I think, Sean, when are we going to start Bruges? Was it Bruges Talk Show? Let's get a Bruges Talk Show going. BTS Bruges Talk Show. We just start talking about players from Bruges and then we come back. What we do is we release the video 10 years in advance or 5 years in advance. And then all of a sudden we start going, yeah, Spurs should be signing this player. And you just see them and they're playing for like Real Madrid. Like,
yeah, so I'll be like, I told you so. Just like with
I told you
so. 5 years ago, I said this kid is going to be good.
Exactly, the point scoring. That's what we call it. Point scoring.
I've said it, and I'll channel ID. I'll put live on it. Someone has to do a recording of everyone making their beginning of the season of what they think is going to happen, but release it the day after.
I was going to do it this season. I was going to do a recording backstage with everybody, getting all of their predicciones, all of them down,
and it gets
released it at the end of the season and see where everyone. Yeah,
see how people's agendas change. I like it. Game's the game, man. The game's the game.
Predicting the future. Let's talk about predicting the future. Let's talk. We've got sort of 10, 15 minutes left, guys. Let's talk about the game tonight then. So this is a team that I went, by the way, guys, there's 380 people here or something. Smash the like button for me, first and foremost, please. It should be on 150, 200 likes. Should be easy. Just hit the drum the thumb, people. Hit the subscribe if you haven't already. And then also just make sure that Perchy, are you still doing any content, mate? You're doing your football.
Nah, mate. I'm retired from YouTube. Apart from my Monday nights with Sava in the best podcast on the internet. The What Are We Doing Here podcast, the best podcast on the internet. I'm retired from doing YouTube content these days. I still have a channel, so you go check my old FM saves. I have debated, do I do an FM 26 and bring Revival Perchy to glory? Because that was some fun. We had some absolute fun on that channel.
Fair enough. This is my 11 for tonight. Let's have a look, zoom in. I want to see what you guys will do instead. So I've gone for Spence, Van der Ven, Danso, Porro, Bentancur, Sarr, Xavi. I've actually slid Richie out on the left. And the only reason I'm doing this is because of the physicality. I think that there's going to be a lot of physicality in the game tonight, and we need to have someone in there that can be a little bit more bright, a little bit more sort of brassy and brazy. And I want Kolo Muani up the top. So I've shoehorned Odebear on the wrong side, and I've got Xavi in the middle. I mean, Odebear could probably play off the right, but I'm okay if Johnson's going in there, but I don't really know if I want to see Berghvall start. You could make an argument to let Xavi go as well and just have Berghvall and Sarr and Bentancur or Palhinha. What's your thoughts, guys? What would you do instead?
No, look, I think your bottom five is spot on. I don't think the bottom five are changing. That is how it will be. It'll be Kinsky in goal and that back four. The midfield, I've been toying with it, right? I initially I said that he'll start Berghvall, but I think he starts Simmons in the 10. I think the manager will probably want to just keep giving him minutes to get up to speed and get to it, because we know he's a good football player, so he will get there. Then I'm looking at that midfield. I think he's got to play one of Bentancur or Palhinha. I think it'll be one or the other. And Sarr, I think, will go in there. So I think you're probably right. It will either be Bentancur or Palhinha. So Simmons in the 10. Then it will be anyone. I think it will be Johnson, Odegaard, Simmons. I hope it's Mawani, but I have a funny feeling it's Richarlison.
That's what I might go
Mawani off the left, Eugene.
I might, even though Xavi centrally, obviously, that's where he's got to be. I might go Xavi on the left and Sarr in the 10, because Sarr actually did pretty well in the 10, especially if you want to do some pressing. Sarr at the 10, Xavi on the left, and then Palhinha and, I don't know, Palhinha, Berghvall.
Who am I putting here?
I mean, Richalison might be a better midfielder than a striker, but
no, I'm saying Palhinha.
Yeah, I mean, Palhinha and Bentancur against Newcastle, I think, might be the way to go, and rest Palhinha against Chelsea. But Sarr, the 10, might give us that energy, and he can actually shoot from outside the box. So
like that,
I can see that.
My only worry with that is that my only worry with that is I'm not against it, but I kind of just can't see him playing both Bentancur and Palhinha again. I think one of them, someone's got to rest. I think it will be Palhinha.
So Berghvall instead of Bentancur, maybe.
Maybe. But you'd probably swap him and Sarr, maybe, or play the three together as sort of a there's sort of like something like that. But maybe something like that. That's what I think it could be, something in that sort of length, maybe quite narrow. And I think the fullbacks, as I said, the fullbacks will be the same. I think it'll be very similar like that.
That's what that formation. That makes sense to me.
My worry is he'll be.
But he's not going to do it. He's not going to do it.
This guy. For me, I'm okay seeing something like that. Right, like a diamond, and letting Johnson get flick-ons from Mawani or Richarlison or whatever. Right, I'm okay with something like that. But having him out here is pathetic. Having him out here doesn't work. Having these three players here, none of them will get forward. He'll just run into blind alleys. He'll just give the ball away 400 times, and this guy can't get forward anyway. So. Like, I don't mind seeing in the future. I've got no problem seeing something like this, right?
Yeah.
Imagine if you had something like this, right, where these guys were given the license to get forward here. You had Palhinha in the 6.
Yeah.
Then you had, I don't know, let's call it, Solanke there.
Mawani and Solanke together up top. Oh, Kudus. Yeah, I mean, that's what I was asking for a while. That would be our best formation for sure.
Well, in a way, like a 4-3-3 basically, but you've got very three narrow. But
these guys with the widths come from these.
I said all along what you could actually long term on it is where you play like almost have three very narrow 10s behind the number 9 when you've got the likes of Maddison back, Kulu back. I mean, let's see who's right on the team news, because it's going to be out about a couple of minutes now.
Is it?
I think he'll rest Palhinha, but
around 15 normally, no?
I'd play him.
Yeah, should be out. Yeah, we'll wait until the. I think Sava got a show starting at a certain time, 6:45. I'll redirect you lot over to Sava's as soon as we're going to finish in a minute. I want to wait till the team news, and then I'll send you over to Savage stream as soon as that comes out. Let's have a look.
I'll breaking news it as soon as it comes. I'm refreshing.
I wonder if Kinsky is going to start.
I think there's a case of both of them. By the way, you got it up there. Okay, there's a case of both of them playing. So there's a case of Kinsky playing. There's a case of Vicario playing. I'm not against either. But by the way, if he picks one, I'm not going to be annoyed if he picks one and not the other.
Yeah.
So what are we saying about Newcastle tonight? So Newcastle are without. Newcastle's team news is.
Have you seen
they're without Lewis Hall, Johan Wissa, Harrison Ashby, whoever he is, Valentino Livramento, and Seth doubt. So Sportsmole here is suggesting that the team for them would be Ramsdale in goal.
Oh, okay.
Kraft, Malik Tiao, Fabian Schär, Dan Burn, Joel Linton, Willock, Miley, Elanga, Osula, and Barnes. So Harvey Barnes off the left, Elanga off the right, Osula, the Swedish kid, up top. Miley in the 10, I think. Willock, Joel Linton in the middle, in the 8s, and then Dan Burn left back, Schär, Tiao as the centre backs, and Kraft as a right back.
If that's the team,
I think we can get.
They're beatable. If that's the team, we can beat them.
By the way, I think Newcastle beatable anyway. I think this we've turned it all into this thing where it's impossible to go to St James's Park because we've been so used to getting battered there. But look, they haven't been sensational this season. They haven't been, but they also haven't been terrible this season, right? I think. Look, as I said, I still think we're going to get a draw and we'll win on penalties. I stand by it.
If Vicario's in goal, we're not winning on penalties.
Why are you so negative, man? Why?
We're winning this. It's an interesting question, though. With the form of Vicario right now being so good, do you drop him for Kinsky when you're finally starting to see some unbelievable form from Vicario? I agree with you, by the way, Eugene, that he's shocking from penalties. That's what I've been saying all week. If you move the penalty spot like 5 feet forward, you actually have a better chance of saving them because he's more instinct than time to play, but time to think. But do you play Kinsky or do you play Vicario, boys?
Or you play Vicario and do the classic sub him on at the end of 90 minutes and sub on Kinsky. Who was it that did that when they brought? It was the Netherlands, weren't it? When they subbed Michel Vormon for penalty shootouts. Yeah. We should do that. Play Vicario for 90 minutes, then literally at the end sub on Kinsky. Look. For me, as I said, I agree, Sean. By the way, on that, I think that's why I said I'm not against either one playing. I can understand why he starts Kinsky. But I could equally understand why he would play Vicario to keep him in form. He's playing well at the moment, so why wouldn't you let a player that is playing well keep playing? So I'm not against it. Newcastle's team is out, by the way. Do you want me to read it out?
I'll bring it up, mate. 1 second.
Yeah, Newcastle's is just Newcastle. I'll shout it out if you want.
Yeah, let me just go on, shout it out, and I'll get up on the screen.
Ramsdale, Shaw, Tonali, Barnes, Tiao, Kraft, Elanga, Voltemada, Willock, Burn, and Ramsey.
Jesus Christ, they're gone very strong.
Spurs haven't announced theirs yet.
Goal, so Shaw centre back.
So I'm assuming it's Kraft, Shaw, and Tiao, and Burn as a back four, and then a midfield of
Kraft right back, Tiao,
in Shaw,
and Burn is the left back. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I'm assuming it'll be Ramsey, Willock in the midfield, and then playing out wide. Like basic, I'm assuming
Harvey Barnes,
in a 10.
In a 10.
Yeah, basically.
Our issue is we struggle against physical.
No, they've gone 4-3-3. Sorry, so they've gone in the midfield of Ramsey, Willock, and Tonali in the midfield, and then Elanga and Barnes out wide, Voltemada up top.
Yeah, I mean, we seem to do well against finesse teams, and we struggle against physical midfields. That's why I'm not as optimistic, because they're a big physical team.
Yeah, but I'd rather see Ramsey, Willock, and Tonali than Joel Linton.
No, for sure.
Agree. Joe Linton, Bruno Guimaraes, no Anthony Gordon, no Botman at the back. So
are they on the bench or are they?
Yeah, they're all on the bench. They've got a very, very strong bench. An incredibly strong bench.
Spurs have decided not to announce their team just yet, so I'm still refreshing.
Well, we need to get an early goal. If we're up 1-0 or 2-0 by half time, they're going to bring on the big guns, and then we can bring on some defence and just sort of hold on for dear life.
Yeah, So look, I think that as I said, that midfield. I think that midfield is beatable when you've got, as I said, Willock and Ramsey and Tonali's their sort of mainstayer in midfield, right? Out wide, Elanga's good out wide. Barnes is a good player. Voltemade is going to be a bit of a nightmare to play against. I think, interesting that we've not announced ours yet, but they've announced theirs. But I'm assuming they had to be submitted at the same time. So
yeah,
I'm assuming.
So.
I don't think they
kick off at 8 or is it 8:15? I'm pretty sure I heard it was changed 8:15, isn't it?
No, it's 8. No,
it's 8.
Oh, is it 8? Okay,
Your time. Yep.
No one's said anything different. Sean's going to be watching the game 15 minutes late. We'll be 3-0 up by then.
These are my fucking VPN in the streaming services. Yeah, hey. Someone's sending me some stuff on what are we doing? Here we go.
Is this your dodgy Twitter people that tell you stuff that isn't true?
My dodgy, what do you mean? My sources, my HP source and that.
Hey, as long as you proper, everyone needs a source, mate.
Where's the Tottenham fucking team? Come on now, what are we doing here?
Oh, we're wasting away. I'm now having to spend more of my evening with Sean and Eugene.
You know I think the team has just arrived because the Spurs official only just put up the video of the team arriving at 6:45. So maybe they haven't managed to put their. They
normally arrive about an hour and 15 before kickoff. Though. That's normal, though, isn't it?
That's fair enough. Yeah, I suppose so. So. Polini is there though. Polini is there.
I think
Polini starts. I think Polini starts.
Okay. What are we saying, guys? Why is Spurs not announcing? Why are we late to the party again?
Mind games.
Oh, mind games. Is that?
That's what it is.
What it is. Someone said Gray. I'll be amazed if Gray. I mean, we announced someone just in the chat that Gray's playing.
No, isn't he injured for 8 weeks or 4 weeks?
Yeah, Marshall Gray is.
He's not as injured though. He's not as injured. And this morning it was saying that he's out for 8 weeks.
Okay, Takai is not as injured either, and he is dead. Probably,
the team is out. The team is out. The team is out.
Oh, should we read it? It hasn't come up on mine yet.
Where's the team?
Sean's Twitter sources.
Who's playing silly beggars? Free speech. Free speech.
Someone's saying it's up. It's not. Someone's lying to you. I'm refreshing Instagram. It's not coming up on it.
All right. Ben, I'm going to ban people.
Tell up front, Paulinia starts. Stop with it. People saying stuff.
You're on the wind-up, people. It's not on Twitter.
We need sources. None of you lot. I don't trust you lot. Unless it's someone like, I bet someone like Billy T has posted the lineup and you lot have all believed
Free speech, Fiona. What are we doing about this, Fiona? What? Are you a right-wing lunatic, Fiona, because of your free speech advocacy?
Here we go. Let's do it. I'm ready, Sean.
I'm ready. We're going to blend it straight into conspiracy content.
This is shameless. You lot are shameless, by the way, in the chat.
I've refreshed more than I have.
Same.
I've refreshed this stream more than I've refreshed my deodorant in the last couple of days. What's going on? It's on SofaScore.
Oh, I'm not buying SofaScore. Get out of it. That's time out worthy. That's time out worthy.
All right.
We'll find out if it's right though. They're saying so. SofaScore is saying. Wait a minute. They're saying they've already given this on. Look at this on SofaScore. Not only have they already given the predictions, they've also already given the ratings.
And the game score.
Tell
Brennan Johnson's going to have a worldie. Joel Linton's going to have a worldie. Ostler's going to have a worldie. He's not even starting. Yeah, what a SofaScore. No, this is madness.
Joe Linton's on the bench and he's having a worldie today.
He's having a 9.8 out of 10.
Absolute worldie off the bench. I mean, does that mean he's going to get subbed on and score a hat trick? And that's what he gets a 9.8 from. Spurs announce a team so I can go and prepare and watch the game.
What are we doing here?
What are we doing here? What are we doing here? Oh dear, oh dear. Okay.
They are taking the piss now.
They're having a shambles at the moment, this football club.
So the social media girl's on the shitter, isn't she? She's eating something dodgy on the bus on the way up. She's like, I'll get it out in a minute. I'm just on the toilet.
Or the poor social media girl's gone, there's no internet up here. Why have they got no internet up here in Newcastle?
How are the Wi-Fi?
How are the Wi-Fi? How are the Wi-Fi?
That's why the Richalison needs to be in charge of our social media. I'm sure he'll
Yeah, he
put
does,
out the lineup sometime.
Oh, come on, Spurs. I'm now
Here
bored.
we go. The lineup's out. The lineup's out.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Do you want me to read it out, or do you want to say it?
You can read it out if you want, mate.
In goal, Kinsky, Danzo, Paulinho, Xavi, Richarlison, Berghvall, Johnson, Porro, Spence, Sarr, Bentancur. So we've got
so Danso and no Van der Ven.
So he's gone. So he's going Porro, Danzo, Paulinho, left back of Spence, then a midfield of Berghvall and Sarr, Simmons in the 10, and then he has Johnson,
Richarlison and Bentancur. No, Bentancur and Berghvall in the 8.
Yeah.
Sarr in the 10.
Oh, I see. Yeah, Xavi on the left.
Xavi on the left, Richarlison in the 9, and Johnson on the right.
I got the midfield spot on. I was correct.
You did call. You did call that. You actually called
Why
that.
are we playing Paulinho at centre back? What the fuck are we doing?
I mean, that's actually he's not bad at centre back.
We've got an alien encounter on the bench. Rosewell. Who the fuck are you? Scarlett's on the bench. Aloisi's on the bench.
Wait.
Hey, this isn't Rosewell just a play off of your conspiracy channel?
Yeah,
Rosewell.
100%.
Rosewell, who are you? How's he
to make a wish
on the bench? I respect it. I love the fact that we brought 2 goalkeepers on.
We've got no midfielders on the. We've got nobody on the bench is a midfielder.
Wait, actually, can we actually take a step back? That our bench at the moment is 2 goalkeepers, 2 wingers, 1 centre half, 2 strikers, and 2 kid midfielders. I do love this game. We are so back.
Who the fuck is Rosewell?
Hey, is he the kit man that's just gone give him a game?
I'm telling you, he's a
James Rosewell. He's 19. Here we go. He's 19.
Where can he play?
He's a centre back.
So we've got 2 centre backs, 1 centre mid, 2 wingers, and 2 strikers and 2 goalkeepers. I love our bench. We are so back. We are so back.
Oh, we're fucked.
We are. Oh yeah, no Odeber, by the way. That's a good point. There is no Odeber around.
No Odeber. We've got Kudus. Who have we actually got that can change the game?
Kudus and Tel.
And Kolo.
No Tel. He cannot change anything.
Kudus, Tel, and Mwani if you need an attacking sub. That's what
and Van der Ven to bring on if we're 1-0 up at half time.
Yeah, I swear I would play Van der Ven up front over Tel or.
Is he injured as well now?
Well, it might be. I don't know where Odeber is.
He must be injured. Why wouldn't he be on the bench?
You should know, Sean. You're his biggest fanboy. You should know where he is. Sean, can you tell us where Wilson Odeber is?
I can't tell you where Wilson Odeber is. I don't know what the fuck's going on. No Dino Byfield.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Oh God.
Hey, Roswell's the one, man. I'm saying Area 51 in Roswell? That's the one we want, man. Come on. He should have been given number 51, by the way. If your name is Roswell, why are you not
giving number 51? Great shout. That'd be amazing.
Why is he not number 51?
He should have been given number 51. 100%. That's sensational. Sensational banter. By the way, guys, if you are interested in more conspiratorial content, get over to
that's a plug to your channel.
Where Eugene, myself, and my man Nikos, we dig into the Illuminati and the New World Order every Saturday.
A disclaimer: the channel does not reflect my views on things. I just want everybody to know. So.
He also doesn't reflect my views. It's been hijacked by some flat earthers, but us globetards, Eugene, we're a globetard apparently. It is what it is. It is what it is. My Area 51 says.
My Area 51. Yeah, exactly.
All right, guys, listen. That's the 11. That's the lineup. It's a strange one for me. Not particularly happy with it. I don't know where some of those players are, but that's a crazy one. Guys, we will leave you there. Thank you, Perchy. Thank you, Eugene. Very much appreciated. Also, Jesus, I almost forgot my man Houdini, Dean Law. He has done the Super Ticker Train. Thank you very much. Okay, my man. Guys, stay where you are. We're going to send you over to Savatron over on Football Heritage TV. Please do send in the chat My Area 51 raid with Rosewell as the hashtag.
51.
My Area 51 raid hashtag Rosewell. We'll see you over on. Well, you won't see me, but I'll see you later on afterwards for a review game. Enjoy the match. Come on, you Spurs, into the quarterfinals. Hopefully,
Come on, you Spurs. Let's
cheers,
do it.
Eugene. See you guys.
Bye, guys.